The following program is presented by the Metropolitan Library Service Agency.
Hello, welcome to All About Kids, a program focusing on the interests of children and young people and some of the issues affecting them. Our guest today is Amy Svendsen, a student in the Robbinsdale Schools. She'll be discussing her internship here in the Hennepin County Library and talking about some of the ways the Robbinsdale Schools curriculum is adjusting to meet the needs of students as we approach the 21st century. Amy, it's a pleasure to have you here on All About Kids today. You are a 7th grade student at the Technology Learning Campus of the Robbinsdale School District, and this is an opportunity for you to participate in an internship or a mentoring program, and you chose the Hennepin County Library. Tell me a little bit about the program and why you decided you were interested in coming to the library.
Well, I wanted to go to the library because I thought it would be interesting and I like to read, and I wanted to see what happens besides just seeing the books on the shelves.
Sort of the behind the scenes to find out what it is that librarians and other people who work in the library do during the day?
Yeah.
Have you found any surprises? You've been working real closely with Artis Wiley, who is the mobile services supervisor. So you've been learning about some of the library's outreach programs and seeing what the bookmobiles do. Did you know about this before you started?
Well, I knew that they had a bookmobile because I've been going to the bookmobile since before I was born. My mom took me while she was pregnant. But I never knew that there was a children's bookmobile that went to different homes for children.
Goes to child care providers, and children have story times, and goes to early learning centers, and there's a real opportunity to serve people in a whole different way. Has this experience, it's only been a couple of days, but has it made you think more seriously about becoming a librarian when you get out of school?
Yeah, there's so many different jobs that are still part of the library. There's computer graphics and a lot of other jobs.
Is it more interesting maybe than you thought it might be?
Yeah.
I think you just in talking, you've got some real strong ideas. Not only do you love to read, but you're very concerned about people who want to censor children's reading or young people's reading, any people's reading, and you recently wrote an article that will possibly appear in a May 95 issue of the Star Tribune, and it's about censorship and banning books. Why did you think that this was an important issue?
Well, I think that books can educate, and people need to know about it. You can't just cover your eyes to the world. You have to know about it and read about it, stuff.
A lot of adults think that people your age, you're 13, I think, aren't you?
Yes.
They believe that you should be protected from things, that you shouldn't be able to read what interests you. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that we should be able to read whatever we want, and I think that you need to know about those things, because if you never read about things, when those things happen in your life, you won't know what to do.
Has your mother and your family encouraged you to read and talk about things, perhaps books that you don't understand or books that some person might say, well, she's too young to read about this?
Yeah, whenever I have a question about something I'm reading, they always ask me to come to them, and even if I seem that I may be boring them, like if I'm reading something and I ask them what it means and I read them a whole chapter so they can explain it to me, they just listen and tell me what it means.
I think you've got a wonderful opportunity to discuss a lot of things. I wish everybody had that kind of a situation in their family and in their home. Do you find other students that are in your class don't have quite the same access to books, or don't have parents who understand that it's real important that you get to read about a variety of issues?
Yeah, many kids aren't as fortunate and can't read about whatever they want. Maybe their parents think that those aren't important, or if they don't agree with the book, they don't want their child to read them.
So this way you're really being able to form a lot of opinions, and because you read broadly, you choose what goes along, the kinds of books and opinions that go along with the values of you and your family, right?
Yeah.
You had an interesting experience a while ago. You visited the Library of Congress, and this isn't really censorship, but it's a little at how sometimes young people aren't allowed to do the same kinds of things. You got to watch a videotape about the Library of Congress, but you weren't allowed as a 7th grade student to go into the actual library part of that building.
No, they wouldn't let kids under 18 in, and I was kind of mad because I wanted to see all the books, and how, since it is like the biggest library, I wanted to see it.
Did they give any reason for why young people under 18 aren't allowed in?
Well, I think that they thought the kids might vandalize stuff or be noisy, and they just didn't really trust them.
It's kind of an unfortunate situation. From things that I've read, it seems to me that much of the vandalism that has occurred at the Library of Congress has been from scholars or people that we might think are highly respected in their fields, and they're the ones who slice pages out of very rare books and take things that really are part of our national culture.
Yes.
Does this happen in other places? Do you think young people are looked at with suspicion often in society just because you're kids?
Yeah. People kind of look at you strange, and they think that you might be in a gang or something when, no.
Just because you're 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of you together, right?
Yeah.
What do you think not only kids but adults can do to help build a better trust between adults and kids?
Well, I don't know. I think that just because maybe if one kid does something, they just kind of assume, oh, kids, of course they did it. And they're the first ones. The kids are the first people that they blame.
So we shouldn't stereotype as much.
Yeah.
Okay. That's real interesting. Well, let's get back to this internship. What are some of the other students in your class doing for their internships?
You filled out a form of where you wanted to go and what were your interests, and then they matched you up with the mentors. And some of my friends are going to veterinary schools or clinics, or maybe the Plymouth Post.
So then when you've had this 3-day internship, you'll go back to school and you'll talk about it, or you'll write a report or give a little class demonstration or discussion?
Well, we got a packet that asks you to fill out what sort of technology they use, what sort of communication skills, and things like that.
So really, you're not only seeing the kind of technology we have in the library with the online catalog that people can use to find out what books are in the collection, but you're seeing some of our CD-ROM reference materials, and this is a different kind of technology too.
Yes.
And one of the reasons we do this program all about kids is because we think it's important for the library to communicate a variety of issues which affect children and families out into the community. So sometimes people who don't ever come to a public library watch this program and they learn things. They're learning things about what the Robbinsdale School District is doing to help students like you learn more about the big world. Why did you choose to go to the Technology Learning Campus? Was this an optional thing, or were you automatically assigned there?
Well, I was kind of assigned there because I'm in a Spanish language immersion program where we do our classes in Spanish, and it was continued at the Technology Learning Campus. But other kids from Plymouth Middle School and Hosterman and Sandburg, so many kids want to come that they have a lottery, and if you want to go, your name gets put in a lottery, and they draw names to see who gets to come.
And so you were, because you'd already been in the program, you were one of the lucky ones that got to go without being involved in a lottery?
Yeah, but most kids have to be in the lottery, and it's really fortunate that you get to come with the technology.
So you have one more year?
Yeah, 8th grade.
And the focus is primarily on science and technology?
Yes, there's computer labs and CD-ROMs and...
But do you have regular classes too, like English and history and social studies?
Yeah, we have 5 core classes. We have English, math, health, science, and social studies.
Do you think because you're in a technology school, it's an alternative school, right?
Yeah.
That you have more homework perhaps than students in some other classes might?
Well, most of our reports and things have to be typed, so we can go to the labs and type them before and after school or in study halls. But a lot of kids have computers at their house and since our school has so many computers, they're compatible. And that way you can just go to the lab, which your home computer is compatible to, and continue typing there.
I think a lot of the viewers will be interested. We hear so much about young people and technology, and obviously it's a real normal part of your life. This is what you do, right?
Yeah.
But you've got a lot of other things. Not only are you interested in technology, you are a ballet student, you're taking piano lessons, and you've appeared in a couple of productions at Children's Theater. You've got lots of interests, Amy.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about your children's theater experience.
Well, in fall of '93, I was in Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and in Christmas of '95, I was in How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And it's really intense. In How the Grinch Stole Christmas, we had 76 performances, 12 a week, and we only got like 2 days off for Christmas, so it's really intense.
Well, and you must have had lots and lots of rehearsals ahead of time, too.
Yeah, it takes a lot of months.
How does it feel? 76 performances. Do you get the same excitement out of being on the stage every time?
Yeah, maybe some days it's kind of, I don't know, it's never boring, but some days you're more into it, but it's always really fun because you can see the people, like the delight on their faces when they see all the little Who's running out to sing.
Is that what you were? Were you a little Who?
Yeah, and they wanted the play to be really a lot like the book by Dr. Seuss. So they had everyone read it, and I checked one out of the library and read it. They wanted the sets and everything to look exactly how it was in the book.
And I think they absolutely did. So then, because you'd read the book, you sort of knew what the characters were, and you could project that into your performance, right?
Yeah.
Have you had acting lessons, or did you just go down and audition?
Yeah, at the Children's Theater they have classes, but you have to audition to be in the classes. And I've been in the classes for about 3 years, or 2 years.
Well, you're going to have a lot of hard choices to make. Become a librarian, do something else with technology, be a dancer, a pianist, or an actress. Do you think you could combine everything?
I don't know. I can try.
Sounds like you're doing a real good job of that right now. Amy, thank you very much for being on All About Kids.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Amy Svendsen. It's encouraging to see a young woman so interested in libraries and so excited about what's happening in the schools. Thanks to all of you for joining us on All About Kids. Please tune in again.